सुन सकते हो आप? सुनाई दे रही आवाज?
यस सर।
ठीक है, क्योंकि आई डेंट गेट माई हेडफोन, दैट्स व्हाई। आदत नहीं ना मुझे इन सब चीजें कैरी करने की। सो विल स्टार्ट टुडे। Good, I can see good number of you. I am feeling happy. Sorry, I have not been able to take your class for such long time. Time नहीं मिल पा रहा था मुझे. But now we will continue. Okay, we'll try to finish as much topics as possible. And why is videos not seen? Okay. So we'll start with a small topic today because the time is less. So this topic is called as object localization. हमें क्यों जरूरत पड़ती है object localization की? Object localization means that on a radiograph, when we see something, nowadays there are so many higher modalities are available, such as CT and MRI, through which we can hold on for a second, please. Yes, there are so many modalities available in which we can see a tumor. Say, suppose there is a tooth which is impacted and needs to be removed. Now, when you see on a radiograph, you see it is below the aphysis, but it may be on the buccal side or it may be on the lingual side. So we don't know on which side it is. If you know which side it is, accordingly you can approach either from buccal aspect or from the lingual aspect to remove the tooth. Or say there is a radiopacity, there is a odontome. So to do the surgery, we should know which side it is, buccal side or the lingual side. There is some foreign body you see. Suppose the person had an accident, he had a trauma. Now you see that there is a metallic object, or say there is a bullet inside the bone, and we want to decide which side it is, buccal side or lingual side, so that we can accordingly approach it. There are many modalities like CT, MRI we can do, CBCT we can do. But every time that is not possible, or till few years back, they were not possible so easily. To see those things, we use a method in radiology called as object localization. Not only that, this is a very important topic, and almost every third exam, this comes as a short note. Okay, and it is a very common Viva question. So we'll start with it. And like I told you, the dental radiograph is a two-dimensional picture of three-dimensional objects, does not depict the buccal-lingual relationship or depth of an object. I think you are very familiar with this, what I am saying, that in a radiograph, we keep the radiograph inside the mouth, and from outside we shoot it. So everything that we see in the radiograph is in that entire width. Suppose this is a bag, and inside there is something. If I make a radiograph from this side and take the film, everything will come on a two-dimensional view, which will show everything which is present inside this case. It will not show their three-dimensional structure, that how far from. We'll see that there is a glass inside, but we'll not know from how far from this surface it is and how far away from this surface it is. For that purpose, we need to find out the object localization. So let's see what are the indications for that. It can be used to locate the foreign bodies, impacted teeth, unerupted teeth, retained roots, foreign body, impacted tooth, unerupted tooth, retained roots of the teeth, root positions. Sometimes we need to see where are the position of the small root stems to be removed. Salivary gland stones, fractures of the jaws, means it is buccally placed or lingually placed, or we see a fracture of only one cortex, that is called as hairline fracture. Then which cortex is fractured, buccal cortex or lingual cortex? Sometimes we will fracture our needles and instrument inside the teeth, and sometimes restorative materials get pushed inside the teeth while suppose you're doing a class 2 cavity, it gets pushed inside the bone. Now you don't know which side it is. For those purposes, we need to use this. We need to locate the technique. So what are those techniques that we can use? The first method, there are many techniques that can be used. बहुत सारे तरीके हैं like size, perspective, definition, buckle object rule, or the tube shift technique. Then we have right angle technique, we have stereoscopy, and we have advanced imaging technique. Okay. So we have size. Now I'll just see what is size. Okay. Size means that you know that the radiographs are divergent in nature. I have told you that radiographs are divergent in nature. So suppose a screen is in my hand, okay, and this is the source of the X-ray machine. This is the source of the X-ray. Now the rays are divergent. They are coming like this, one from other. So any object which is closer to this, any object which is closer to this and farther from this will appear larger. If this is a torch which is giving radiation in a diverse way, light in a divergent way, or say this is a radiation source which is making the image in a divergent way, and this is my screen, this my hand is screen. So any object in between these two, which is closer to this radiation source and away from the screen, will appear larger on the screen compared to two objects. Suppose I have object A here and object B here. Then the object A will appear larger because rays are closer to it. I'll try to show you. See, suppose this is the, one second. This is an X-ray tube, okay, and from here the divergent rays are emerging. Okay, the divergent rays are emerging, and we have a screen over here. Suppose this is our film inside the mouth. Now one object of same size is here. The shadow of or so there is an object which is placed here, right? The image of this object will be of this size, or I'll change the color. So image of this object will be of this size. It will be this big. Okay. Now the same object. Now the same object, if I keep it here, the same size object. Okay, I have taken the same object and I keep it here. Now the rays will be only of this much thing, right? So the image will be of only this direction. Means the objects which are closer to the X-ray tube will appear larger. That means if there are two objects, the object which is on the buccal aspect will be larger than the object which is on the lingual aspect. So if we need to compare two things and we know their sizes, then we can differentiate whether it is on the buccal side or the lingual side. So there is a limitation of the size when we only know that the object is present on the, if we know the sizes. So this method can be roughly used. We cannot say that this is a guaranteed or no 100% differentiating method, but we can know, we can guess that it is on the buccal aspect or lingual aspects. Then there is another method which is of perspective. Perspective means that if you know two objects, then seeing the outline, if you go for third part is a definition. It says that the objects which are closer to image receptor appear clearer on the radiograph. Remember, objects which are closer to image receptor appear clearer on the radiograph. That means, what do I mean to say? That suppose this is a screen. Sorry. Suppose this is a screen on which the radiograph has to be made. So I keep an object here over here, right? And this is the source of radiation. This is the source of radiation. So the image of this radiograph, right? Since it is very close, this penumbra will be very small. Means there are very high chances that this radiograph will cast very sharp image. Anything which is closer to the screen, you try doing it in your on your own. Take it out, keep your hand, and take the hand closer to the wall on which the image is being projected. The shadow is being projected. The closer your hand is to the wall, the sharper is the shadow. And farther it is away from it, the more blurred the shadow will be. Now you see one on object I am keeping here. say an object I'm keeping here. Okay. Now, if this shadow has to be seen, then this will not only appear, this will not only appear larger, but if you see the exact size, it will be more blurred also. That means the objects which are farther will appear blurred. Now, since the radiographic film is kept closer on the lingual side of the tooth, the radiographic film is kept on the lingual side of the tooth, right? We always keep the film on the lingual side. That's why we expose the radiograph. We keep the film inside the mouth, behind the teeth, and then we expose from outside. Means the tooth is between the film and the radiograph. That means the film is on the lingual side. So I said that the objects which are closer to the image receptor, appear clearer on the radiograph. So the objects which appear clearer. So suppose there is a radiograph in which you see a tooth, and on top of that you see an odontome. If the boundaries of odontome are more clear, that means it is appearing more clear. That means it is on the lingual aspect. This is the same thing in the perspective also. Seeing the perspective means comparing two objects, you see which side it is. So by seeing the boundaries and lines, we can decide which side it is. But all these three methods are bit arbitrary. You need to have a very expert mind. You need to have a very expert mind to calculate, to guess that which side it is from these two methods. Okay. So I am not going so much detail in this. This is just to let you know. Now we'll go to the next method. That is the most important method. That is the buccal object rule. Buccal object rule, also called as slop technique, right, is the very important question. It is always asked in the exams. Okay. So let's proceed with it. The screen setting has changed. How will I go back? Has the screen sharing gone or what? Can you all see? Can you see the screen?
We cannot see the screen, sir.
Okay, fine. It's gone. I'll just put it back. Yes. Okay, now you can see the screen. So this is called as buccal object rule, or the tube shift technique, or class technique. Why class technique? Because it was given in by the Clark, and this is in common question. You should know what is tube shift technique. So tube shift technique says that what is the rationale for it? The rationale is that relative positions of the radiographic images of two separate objects, when the projection angle at which the images were made is changed. This is the write down this portion. Relative positions of radiographic image of two object subjects change when the projection angle at which the images were made is changed. Means I made two radiographs. So suppose I have to take a radiograph of these two fingers. Okay, these two fingers are from this side to this side, and if I make one radiograph from here, so I'll find them both in the same line. Now, if I make one radiograph for here, means if I see from, I just change the way from which I look, my fingers can be seen separately. Are you getting it? There are two fingers which are not seen separate if you see in this video in my screen, because they are behind each other. As the perspective is changed, means from the place from where I see them is changed, the finger will change. Or if I change my screen's direction, I will see two different fingers. This is what it is. In the radiograph, say the source of image, source of X-ray is your eye. From there you are seeing. You are seeing an image made from a point source. Now, when you see the teeth or the image, it means that your eye is supposed to be inside the X-ray tube. You are seeing a vision from there. Like you see a camera, photograph taken from a camera. So actually you are seeing from the photographer's eyes, where the photographer was located. From that place you are seeing that position. So same thing, if I change my position from where I see something, the two different things will be seen. right? It says that if after changing the angulation, so if I see from this aspect here, after changing the angulation, if the object which I want to see moves to the lingual side on the same side, as the angulation, then we call it as a, it is, that means it is on the lingual aspect. If it moves to the opposite side, that means in the buccal aspect. It is called a same lingual opposite buccal. I'll try to make you understand this. So, and if it does not object, means it is lies in the same that has the reference object. Now, what is the reference? Our reference is the tooth. So you see now, see this two-dimensional radiograph. Try to understand. I'll make you first understand this picture. See this picture. I have X-ray beam here. I have two objects. One this dark shadow, one this shaded thing. Okay, and pass one X-ray beam from here. If I keep X-ray film over here, both will be cast at this place, right? At one another, like this condition. Okay. Now I'm changing my angulation from where I'm seeing. Okay, so in this aspect, so this is a molar tooth, right? And this is canine, correct? This is canine tooth. That means I have shifted my cone mesially, right? I have shifted my cone mesially. Earlier I was seeing from here, okay, and the X-ray film was here. Now I'm seeing from mesial direction. So what will happen if I see from mesial direction? See what happens. If I see from mesial direction, the shadow of this will be formed over here. Between somewhere near this molar tooth, it will be formed. And since the X-ray source is coming from a bigger place, the shadow of this will be formed over here, right? Somewhere here, or actually if I see from here, okay, this means the shadow of this is formed here. I'll show you. So the shadow of this is formed over here, right? Earlier the shadow was being formed over here. So my first or previous shadow was over here. Okay, the new shadow of the buccal object is over here. Okay, and new shadow of the palatal object is over here, right? So what did we see? We saw that when we moved the angle towards the mesial aspect, right? We are looking from here. Now we have moved here and looking from mesial aspect. The image of the lingual thing shifted on the lingual aspect, and image of the buccal thing moved to the buccal aspect. Sorry, opposite. That is the distal side, right? The object which was on the lingual side moved towards the mesial side, and object which was on the buccal side moves towards the distal side. In the previous example, they both are at this place. Now tell me, is this clear to all of you? Right? I hope this is clear to all of you. This is what I mean when I say slop technique, right? Same lingual, opposite buccal. This is what is called as slop technique. If this object, say I have a green object which was in this place, if this place was the same place, wherever I take, the shadow will, the image will be formed in the same, it will not change. Okay, so this is what is called as the slop technique, or same lingual opposite buccal technique. I hope this is clear. Okay, I'll go back to the previous diagram now. Now you see this image. Okay, now we will talk about this. So we have an object which is present on the buccal side. Here there is an object which is present on the buccal side, and we are making a radiograph of it, right? Sorry. We are making a radiograph of it. The screen is here. So the shadow is cast between the first premolar teeth, right? The shadow is cast below the first premolar teeth. Now here, again I have moved mesially. If you see, this is the premolars and here are the molars, right? So this is mesial aspect and this is the aspect. So I have moved easily. Now the object which was here will be shot over here, right? It will be scanned over here. So it has moved from the first premolar mesial side of the tip to the between molar and the premolar. Can you see the position has changed from here to here? So it has moved in the opposite direction, right? It is not the opposite direction. That means object is on the buccal aspect. So same lingual, opposite buccal. So this is buccal aspect. When I see on the lingual aspect, the image of the first teeth is same as this, right? This image and this image are same. This image and this image are same. Now my direction has changed. Now again, when I'm moving also to the lingual aspect. Now again, I have moved to the mesial aspect. If I move to mesial aspect, now since it is on the lingual side, the image which was being formed from here will move towards this side, right? So it has moved to this side. That means it has shifted. It is, as my lingual change, it shifted to the same side, mesial side. This is what is called as the slope technique. Same lingual, opposite buccal. Is this clear to you? And if anyone has any doubt, please put it in the chat box. If anyone of you have a doubt or want me to repeat it, please put it in the chat box.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. I'll explain you once more. This is important. So we have an object here. We have two objects here, one on the buccal aspect, one on the lingual aspect. This is the mesial side. This is the distal side. Okay, here we have X-ray machine, which is shooting a radiograph, and here we keep our film. So they are shot over here. Both are being shot over each other, and this is the resultant radiograph between two premolars. Now I change the angulation. Okay. Now my angulation is shifted mesially, right? My angulation is shifted mesially. As I look from mesial aspect, right? This is being shot over here, and this is being shot over here, right? While earlier it was being shot over here. That means this is the central beam or the first radiograph. Okay, this is the second radiograph with mesial angulation of the buccal object, and this is the second radiograph with lingual object. So the lingual object has moved mesially and the buccal object has moved distally. So this is what we call is the slob rule. Same lingual, opposite buccal. It comes as a 2-mark question, 3-mark question, 5-mark questions, and viva question. So remember this diagram, draw it, write the point which I have given you, okay, and try to remember it. Okay? This is what we call as the slob technique. Now see, we have an object here. This is an odontome. This is an odontome between the central incisor, lateral incisor canine, between lateral incisor and the canine. Now I move the tube distally. So what happens? When I move the tube distally, it has come to move towards the canine, right? It was at the tip of the lateral incisor, right? This is lateral incisor canine, first premolar, second premolar. It has moved towards the tip of the canine. That means if I have done the distal movement, it has moved distally, correct? As I move distal movement, it moved distally. That means it is on which side? It is on the same movement. That means it is on the lingual side. Okay. There is another rule, use of the slob rule, that is in the to decide where the mandibular canal is close to the roots of the third molar. So when we try to extract the third molar, the mandibular canal becomes very important, because if the roots are impinging on the third molar and you try to manipulate it, you might end up injuring nerve if you're not an experienced person. If you're not able to localize and diagnose the nerve, you'll feel like a thread over it. Appears like a thread. You'll feel that there is some tissue coming off, and gradually you tear away the nerve and the sensation will go from the entire side. Okay. So we have to find out the lingual canal is which side, buccal side, lingual side, which is on the buccal side and above the roots. It is more dangerous because while cutting the bone, you will cut the canal. Okay. So you have to find out it is on which side. It is on the buccal side or the lingual side. So we will move the tube downwards and upwards. Again, instead of first we take radiograph from here, now I will look from down and look from up. If I look from down and the canal also moves down, means the canal is on the lingual side. If the canal moves up, when I move down and the canal moves up, means it is on the buccal side. Okay. This is what is slob rule. Okay. Now we come to other methods of object localization. What are the advantages of slob rule? It is a simple method. it needs no additional equipments are required. You don't need any, no CT, no MRI, no CT. A satisfactory workable solution is achieved. I cannot say how many millimeters from the bone, how millimeters right, how millimeters left, how many millimeters away from foot, but I know it is on the buccal or lingual side, so accordingly I can operate. Okay. Disadvantage, it is subjective. No, your interpretation may not be good. You may not have shifted the cone properly, or you may not shift the cone properly. You may forget which side you have shifted, mesial side or buccal side. Hello. 1 second. Okay, sorry. So the disadvantage is it is subjective. You may forget which side you have kept after 2 weeks. So you have to note it down properly, mark it properly. Mesial movement, lingual movement. आप दोनों film लिया लेके आ गया, भूल गया कि कौन सा tube movement के साथ था, कौन सा पहले से था. So all these problems are there, and you are increasing the patient exposure. You are increasing the patient. So it is subjective. So it is subjective. There is a increased patient exposure. We are exposing the patient twice. I told you we have to follow the radiation protection rule called as ALARA principle, as low as reasonably achievable. And it is sensitive to technique errors. Means the things which I told you, right? All those problems may occur. We now come to right angle technique. Two things, right? So if I hold something between these two things, if I see which finger is on the buccal side, which finger on the lingual side, I'll just turn my vision like this. Okay, and I will be able to see which is on the buccal side or which is on the lingual side. Or if I see this image, suppose if I see this image, I'm not able to see what image it is, right? But if I see like this, we will be able to see. That means anything when seen from two angles at 90 degrees, anything which seen from two angles at 90 degrees, you will exactly know which place it is. So if I see, I'll show you some example, then I'll come to the topic. If I see a radiograph like this, the same previous radiograph, okay, so if I see an object on this side, now I don't know it is on the buccal or lingual. So what I do, I look from top, right? I will look from the top and I will know where it is actually. So if I look at the top, I will know that is on the lingual aspect. Correct? No confusion. Very simple. Take a IOP radiograph, take an occlusal radiograph. Now you know which side it is. Okay. So there is a lead marker has been placed. Buccal side or lingual side, no idea. And it is too dark to know use the other things. So I take a occlusal radiograph. I see it is placed on the buccal aspect. So two radiographs at right angle give you good images. Now you see an odontome over here. Can you see an odontome over here? There is an odontome here, correct? No, so this is actually, sorry, salivary gland calculi. This is a salivary gland calculi. See, I got confused with an odontome. No, because I have not seen the next radiograph. So this is in the submandibular duct. Submandibular duct. Now where I see it is inside on the lingual aspect. So now we don't know what it is, where it is. Now exactly I know that it is in this area, where it is in the floor of the mouth. So this is what is the advantage of two right angle techniques. See the another example of this salivary gland technique. It looks like a odontome, looks like some broken tooth piece, anything it may be. But here I know that it is inside the floor of the mouth. Floor of the mouth, some calcification means it has to be salivary gland tumor. Okay. So go back to the written material. Two radiographs taken at right angle to each other will give you correct what do you call that, differentiating feature that where the object is located. One periapical film is exposed, which shows the position of the object in the superior inferior direction, and the other shows the anterior posterior relationship. Yes. In this radiograph, we don't know it is where it is located, how far above this crown it is located. Okay. In this radiograph, we don't know where it is, on the lingual side, on the buccal side, floor of the mouth कौन से level पे, यहाँ से यहाँ तक कहाँ पे है. But if I see this second radiograph, I know that it is near the apices of the tooth. That is, it is almost below the mandible. Correct? So it gives us approach from both the sides, right? Occlusal film is exposed directly in the central at right angle or perpendicular to the film, shows the object in the buccolingual and the anterior posterior relationships, primarily used for locating objects in the mandible. Because maxilla buccal aspect location is not proper because of lot of angulation of the maxilla, and we have to make a radiograph for 90 degrees. Usually we make occlusal radiograph from this aspect. I think I have taken class for occlusal radiograph from the bridge of the nose. So it is not exact 90 degree. While mandible can be made exact 90 degrees. So it is more useful in mandible. Now see what are other radiographs which are useful for this. There are other pairs of radiographs. Topographic and true occlusal. Topographic occlusal is like a larger IOPA, and true occlusal is the 90 degree occlusal view which you saw. OPG and lateral oblique view of OPG is the panoramic radiograph. Again, anterior posterior. Occlusal radiograph is at the 90 degree. PA view and the submento vertex view. Posterior anterior view. From the behind we are seeing, submento vertex from here we are seeing. That means two views we are getting at 90 degrees. When you look from front or behind the person, when you look from down the person, you will know where the thing is inside the body. Okay. Transpharyngeal and transorbital projections of TMJ. Transpharyngeal projection is taken from here. Okay. In transpharyngeal projection, we keep the film here and expose the radiograph from this side. Okay, we make the exposure from here for the TMJ. In transorbital projection, we keep the film here and project from here. That means these two are 90 degrees to each other. I'll take class for that. Okay. So with this, we finish this topic of object localization. Next class, I'll be taking some other topic, probably Monday or Tuesday. I will let you know. I'll call up. I'll coordinate with your CR in the morning and decide the time. And I like both the batches to be present for the class. If for some reason one batch is not able to present, I will be posting this video either on the YouTube or on the Google Classroom. From there you can access. So anything I teach to one batch, other batch I'll request to see the recorded video and attend that lecture, so that I don't have to repeat the same lecture twice. It is easier for you also because you'll be covering more number of topics. Okay.
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Any topic which you people are reading and want me to take, especially in which you have doubts, please let me know. I'll take those things before, or I'll explain you those topics. Okay. Do not hesitate. No hesitations required. Have a nice day.
Okay, sir.